Hello, Dr. Nick Mabbott from Beyond Midnight Consulting with number 9 in the series, The Wonder of Sleep. Now, last week in number 8, we looked at different stages of sleep and different cycles of sleep, and I discussed how they assist you with your health and wellness, your safety, productivity, and working stuff out. Now, this is all well and good, but I didn't actually show you a graph, so I would like to show you a graph right now just to further explain what these stages of sleep looks like, and then I'll talk about what happens when we have short sleep every night. Now, this graph here illustrates the 5 cycles of sleep that we would have if we were in bed for 7.5 hours. And what you see is down the side there, we have stages of sleep from awake, stage 1, 2, 3, and 4 as you go down the graph. That's deep sleep down the bottom there, and then you come back up, and after 90 minutes or thereabouts, you'll reach rapid eye movement sleep. And then you'll start your second cycle where you'll go down, you'll do a lot more deep sleep, come back up, do some more stage 2, and then a bit more REM sleep at the end. Then you'll do a third cycle with only a little bit of deep sleep left, and then we start getting more and more rapid eye movement sleep. So if you recall what I discussed last week, this is all about health and wellness, this deep sleep. The REM sleep is all about your safety and working stuff out. So problems that you have in your mind, you will work them out in REM sleep. Now, a lot of people say to me, hey, Dr. Nick, you know what? 6 hours of sleep is just fine by me. And I'll say, well, okay, no argument from me, but let me show you what happens when you get 6 hours instead of 7.5. So this graph here, and I'll just show you the top part for now, shows a man who's measured his sleep, and you'll see in the first couple of hours, he's probably got nearly 2 hours of deep sleep. Now that's good, that's what you want out of a whole night, about 2 hours of deep sleep. Now, as he goes through his different stages and cycles, you might see he wakes up a couple of times. REM sleep is up here where it says dreaming. This is where REM sleep is. And you might notice that this man hardly gets any REM sleep at all. And certainly not the 2 hours of REM sleep that you should get if you get the full 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep, which includes the 5 cycles. So because he's not in bed long enough, down this end, he wakes up after 6 hours, but not enough time to get enough REM sleep, which is that little bit there and that little bit around here. So when he goes to work the next day, he'll be feeling okay because his health and wellness is in check with deep sleep, but his safety is going to be a little bit compromised because he hasn't spent enough time in REM sleep to sort out everything that you need to do, both on the road, on the way to work, and in the workplace. Now let's look at what the brain is capable of doing when you get to the second night of 6 hours of sleep. So down the bottom here you see night 2, and instead of getting a lot of deep sleep like he did in night 1, you can see he gets a big spike of rapid eye movement sleep. Now we'll call this REM rebound. So the brain is deliberately trying to catch up on REM sleep as soon as possible because it knows the brain needs that function of sleep. And so for this second 6 hour sleep, he gets a big chunk of REM sleep there, gets some on the way to waking up there, and he gets a whole lot down this end. So on this night of 6 hours, he's probably got close to 2 hours of REM sleep. So the next day, he probably will be able to work quite safely and function with a pretty clear mind, although by this time he is 3 hours of sleep behind what he should be, so it's not going to be that safe. But look at this. Look how much deep sleep he didn't get that night because the brain was trying to catch up on REM sleep. So in this case, when he wakes up the next day, because he hasn't had much deep sleep, then he wouldn't have got his full amount of serotonin. Today he will be a little bit snappy or a little bit short-tempered. He will be intolerant, and he will not be able to tolerate when things go a little bit wrong. So you might just call him Mr. Grumpy for the day, but the fact is there is an underlying reason for that. For his body, it will be taking a hit too, because the cardiovascular system will be a little bit tested here. The metabolic system will also have troubles, especially blood sugar levels will rise, because all of the cells of the body will not be able to take glucose into the cell to turn it into energy. So some cells in his body will actually be what we call glucose intolerant. Now, what that will feel like for this man will be lethargic, tired, add a little bit of grumpy, and you're not going to have a good day. So when someone says to me, I'm okay on 6 hours, I will say, well, you know what? If you get 7.5 hours, you get all your deep sleep, all your REM sleep in one night, and you can be the best version of yourself the following day. But if you want to live on 6 hours, it will be almost impossible to become the best version of yourself living on 6 hours. So I'm just leaving it there for now. In the next session, I'm going to show you my special method of getting to sleep within 5 minutes. Now, this works literally on most people who try it. So I'll leave that till next week, but if you're interested in getting to sleep on most nights within 5 minutes, make sure you sign up, subscribe to these videos. It'd be really nice if you could like some or add comments, ask questions, whatever you'd like to do. Don't forget, there will be a book coming out later on this year. I checked in with the publisher the other day. It's going great guns, and it is well on its way. So you can also visit my website and get some free information. So that's Dr. Nick for this episode signing off. Don't forget, next week, sleep in 5 minutes. Awesome. Thank you.